And I think the draft here for Game 2 will have to change. And the other unfortunate thing for T1 is I think, like you mentioned, they kept this style hidden. They had a specific plan. It failed, and now you can't feel comfortable using it twice. In fact, GENG can now adapt, so it gets even tougher here.
And it's starting off with a different ban right from the get-go. We might see Poppy fall through bans because you look at Owner, he's like, Skarner ban.
He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it.
Oh man, I really gotta ban this champion. Are you serious?
And I wonder if GENG will still ban his Lee Sin. Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
And it's been unfortunate because he's been such a high profile player this season on the Lee Sin, but teams just don't let him play it anymore, and so we don't get to actually see it, which, you know, if you're a T1 fan, you want to see them win, but you also want to see the really amazing mechanical outplays. I think Zeri is the big question mark here. Will once again be the Yuumi ban, and it looks like it will probably likely fall through the draft once again because of it.
Are you brave enough to play it into Lucian Nami? No, they're just going to play it themselves. They say this is one way to get an extra ban. So what do they lose here? No first pick Gwen.
No first pick Gwen. If Elios is banned, say the Lulu come through instantly and Poppy. So this is Peanut getting his best champion this season.
Yeah.
And they want to play around defensive bottom 2v2. Poppy can obviously make a lot of impact in the early game. Question is, what is the Lulu going to be paired with? Because we were talking about the Lulu Kog'Maw a lot last series and even in between the games, as yes, Trundle will be the required jungle here for Owner if they're going to be really trying to 3v3 this bottom. But I haven't been really convinced with Kog'Maw Lulu just yet, except when Ruler plays it. Why does it just keep going back to it's, you know, I don't trust
It all comes
Ruler.
Back to the Ruler Kog'Maw, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's the only one who's found success with it, and might be looking to be the
I think he said Zaya. Hope not.
Oh,
maybe,
he said
was
Zeri!
saying Zeri! Oh no! And this is brave in its own right? Because regardless of the matchup, I mean, playing Zeri into Lucian Nami without a Yuumi,
now
not going to be easy.
We have seen, though, that if you take the you know, more aggressive summoner spells, you play around, you know, Lulu's Glitter Lance here, even in a matchup where Lucian normally dominates other supports, like Lucian Nami can do very well against Yuumi on Zeri. Obviously, the Yuumi is stronger support for her because of how she operates in mid-game fights and stuff like that, but can be a lane that can be fairly comfortable for Lehens and Ruler if they play it well. This is not just a default Lucian is the counter and the answer scenario.
Yeah.
I like the Taliyah ban because it's one other way to just pile onto the bottom lane and try to hard push it. We could even see a Twisted Fate ban here again, or a Galio ban for the same reason. I think Galio a lot tougher to pull off into Lulu, though, Zeri, than a lot of other AD carries he'd be looking to dive.
What is the choice here? To ban against Faker or against Zeus in the top side? Maybe you ban away GP and look to pick a Gnar. Could be an option for them, but instead, they're going to ban away Faker's Rise.
So taking away some of the more damaging global mids here.
Threatening a Sylas, of course.
Yep. That will force the Sylas ban. But you don't want to take Sylas blind. You're pretty happy to take Gnar here.
Look at this. You
and
force the Sylas ban with your own Rise ban, and then you pick Gnar.
Yep. Perfectly played. That's a draft tech.
4D chess.
Yeah. So let's see what T1 decide to play this, because the Gangplank is still open. Shores up a lot of the scaling here. You can have a lot of utility with it in the later parts, but will force Faker to play a lot of high damage magic, or a lot of high magic damage in the mid lane. A scaling champion is what I'm getting at. And Azir doesn't feel too great with this, so this will shore up a lot of that damage on the Lucian later on, makes him a lot stronger, and they're just going to pivot this into very, very late game style.
Yeah, I'm down for mid-pike. Sure.
Blind?
Yeah, mid-pike blind. Let's see it, Faker.
I don't think so.
In terms of blind picks, the Azir is one that is
it's kind
pretty
of
nice.
It's kind of bulletproof. Akali, tough answer here to play with this comp, because you don't really want to be like, I got the answer to the Azir, but then lose a lot of frontline damage for peeling for your Zeri. Ahri feels a lot better because it's a lot more flexible. You can both pick and also defensively peel for your Zeri with this and buy time for Gnar to get his ultimate available, get his Gnar bar up. And Chovy has been by far and above the best Ahri player. Last season, when Ahri kind of got reworked and we saw the rise of it, it was Faker who actually kind of led the meta for Ahri and actually was teaching everybody else how to play it. Everyone was following Faker's lead. But this season it has been Chovy. It's kind of a passing of the torch of the Ahri this season. And it has been one of the pocket counter picks we've seen from Chovy so many times this season. Is it a straight-up counter to the Azir? No, but Chovy plays the laning phase so well. He's dunked on Taliyah with this pick so many times.
Yeah, and the thing about the Ahri that was another interesting part of the draft is that I feel like if they win GP Ahri on the side of T1, that could have been nice, except that red side has final pick, right? So you have the counter pick. Lissandra's open. So T1, you know, even if they were considering that option, we don't know if they were or not. That's just a valid analyst take, right? That's just not an option anymore. So they have to kind of go down this Ornn Azir path. We haven't seen Ornn in a little bit here. It kind of fell away just a bit in the LCK, but we are going to see it here in this match.
The Ornn and the Azir give T1 a lot of power in late-game team fights because it's no longer just about the Lucian trying to do some front-ended damage and blow somebody up or having a really nice guaranteed CC and locking somebody down. Faker will do long-term damage. Ornn will have another engage opportunity. Shout out to Atlanta.
Guess who's from Atlanta, guys?
That's where I'm from.
It's Wolf.
Yeah. Shout outs to Atlanta. ATL. All right. I think that with the laning phase here where they have a nice setup 3v3 with the Trundle into the Poppy, there is a lot of power there. Mid-game fighting also, Ornhorn, Azir ultimate. I like T1's draft through the mid-game and the late game. We just have to make sure, and T1 has to make sure that the Hens and Ruler do not get ahead on this Zeri comp.
And here we go. That is very key, what you did mention. We've seen Zeri's rule the Rift. I meant to look through the amount of Zeri POGs. I think it's above 10. I think it's definitely above 10.
It's a lot.
I would predict about 15.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty conservative estimate. Like, it might be higher.
We have 10 teams, you know, 10 AD carries, so, I mean, it's kind of difficult. But already, just with aiming and Prince, I am seeing 6 Zeri POGs from them, including Ruler at a 7th. So 7 with our top 3 AD carries in terms of POG points so far. Guma has earned 1 as well, so you can make that 8 if you include him.
Yeah. No invade here for GENG on red side to stop the Trundle's pathing bottom and mess with his ability to clear and then come down and make an impact. He's coming down at level 2, however...
Man. Look at this, they're baiting them into the fight. This is working out really well for T1. They're trying to get him in. I think this is double flash away from Ruler and Lehans. Nope, he's just not even gonna flash.
He knows he can't get out even with it, and the pillar was held by owner, so he just decides to, you know, when he realizes with the heal alone he won't be able to get away, he decides not to flash, goes down. A lot of extra money here into the pockets of the bottom 3v3 players. Owner, I'm adding him to the list because this is why we see, one of many reasons why we see the red side invade versus the Trundle when you're playing a lane like this, so that he can't come down and gank you at level 2 without sacrificing a lot more. By the way, Chovy and Peanut, undefeated on these champions. Do have to point that out. Kind of awkward.
There are a lot of, there's a lot of undefeated champions for these two teams because they just don't really lose that often. We did also see undefeated for Guma and Keria, 2-0. They don't play the Lucian Nami as much as Ruin Lehens, but when we have seen it, they have gotten wins on these 2 picks.
Okay, Peanut's going over. Will he flash? He does.
Absolutely. As he does do it, and guess who's baiting who this time? It's going to be GENG, who have got the bait on. Now, Guma has flash, and he's going to elect to use it, which doesn't help him. So he's going to go down. It does mean that Peanut picks up the kill instead of any of the bot laners.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward because I think it's still the right call. You don't want that money to go into Ruler's pocket. That guarantees that Peanut has to get the kill in order to secure it. And if they try to get greedy and give it over to Ruler, maybe he gets lucky and gets away. But the problem is that now he's flashless, and Chovy in lane, man. Don't even have to play-by-play that. Yeah,
he's only
career.
11-0.
Yeah, career, he is 11-0. He is 5-0, I believe it was, this season. So, yeah.
It's kind of good.
Yeah.
It's all right. Owner's going to be annoying here. Maybe a little bit more than annoying. Doran doesn't seem to have a hop, as he already hopped in the lane, and now he's got a flash.
Now, Owner also flashed earlier in that exchange, so he won't be able to follow for the kill, but this is still a huge amount of tempo gained for Zeus here on the top side. He has unsealed spellbook, so there's a lot of ways he can get back to lane, and having the teleport advantage already is going to be pretty massive. As yep, this is the level 2. Ruler gets exhaust from Lehens, uses his heal, and then he's like, man, he hasn't even pillared. I'm not going to flash. If he just waits for my flash, then he'll pillar me anyways, and I'll lose flash and die. Now, Guma's flash is better, but his position in the lane is greedier, right? And this is what Peanut does. We called it standard earlier in the season because he does it so often. Yeah. That's why he said Poppy is 70% of its power with the without the Hex Flash. But anyway, he flashes for it to guarantee that it's not Ruler who picks up the kill, so significant, but it means follow-up ganks could definitely be stronger.
It's crazy how this has become a pretty standard jungle move when you're looking to put on a lot of pressure bot. I swear if I did that in solo queue, I'd probably just get question mark pinged and maybe inted against. But that's neither here nor there, as that has been the standard here for Hex Flash junglers. Now Owner is coming bot again. He's just gonna hit the plant and back away. Not looking to dive or anything like that.
Tough to dive at this point. They probably know that Exhaust is coming up again very soon. And this time the lane positioning is much safer for Ruler and Lehens. Gonna get some nice trades. And he took Press the Attack instead of the first strike that Chronicle was talking about earlier. So you can see in the laning phase here, obviously, still able to trade more aggressively. And it's Zeri and not Aphelios. So very different matchup. So there's a little bit more power down here for Guma and Keria.
Yeah, absolutely. There is one player who did take first strike, that is Faker.
Yes, he did.
Nice dodge on the Aqua Prison. That was really clean from Lehens, but guess who's bot again? Both junglers, as even Peanut is here as well with his own Hex Flash available.
Owner's Flash is coming up in just a few seconds here. If he could actually stay for like 20 more seconds, might be able to pull something deep off, but they don't know where Peanut is. They think better of it. And he backs away as Flash is coming back up. Peanut sees him here. Or actually, not 100% sure if he did, but either way, is going to now hover around the bottom side here, and we'll see this ward and clear it up. Very exciting game here so far. Like, early kills on both sides of this bottom 3v3, and we just have to call it that.
3v3.
I mean, we have to call it that now. It's just what it is. It's just the truth.
In a matchup like this, especially with these two junglers, they're both so aggressive this season.
For me, what I'm most excited about now, outside of this 3v3, you know, the bottom side has really calmed down here, is how this fight on Rift Herald goes for GENG. Because T1 have Emperor's Divide, they have Subjugate, or they will likely have Subjugate for this. Owner's a little bit farther behind the Peanut, only level 4 at the moment, just hits 5 on that Scuttle. So if they get Subjugate in time, they'll have that. Ornhorn and Emperor's Divide. GENG, on the other hand, have to be relying on the Narbars. Very, very weak at this stage of the game. And obviously, Chovy is a charm or not a charm. He's very binary in this fight. Spirit Rush will help him set those up. But it's a much harder fight for GENG. So they try to get plates bottom side. Will Gumayusi try to pin Ruler down? And will GENG just end up losing out on this? I mean, there's a lot of things that go very well here for T1 if GENG opt into the fight and then lose it handily to those level 6 spikes here on the side of T1. 30 seconds to go on that Herald. So this is the next point of contention we're going to be really focusing our eyes in on.
Yeah, just going to wait and see how both teams will respond to this one. Bottom lane, very even so far, and I think that is a win here for Ruler and Lehens, just considering that it is Zeri and not the Lucian. We've seen what Zeri can do when she has her Zeri moment, picks up an IE, and then kind of just ends the game by herself. Lucian is strong, but you know, not quite the same level. We don't really have Lucian moments.
But item parity still favors the Lucian for those first few team fights because he's going to get Gale Force. I know we always have to like spell this out for everyone, but I think there's a lot of takes like Lucian strong early. That's as deep as it goes. But no, he's strong early when he gets his Gale Force or if he gets ahead in lane.
Yeah.
But being even like this is still good for him for now. As long as Ruler's not getting any extra kills or is picking up big team fights and skirmishes that should not be taken here.
Yeah.
So Genji are going to get first Rake here. And they're going to give up the Herald. And I think this is actually a reasonable approach to this first objective fight because they don't want to take it. It's just too hard for their comp to pull this off. Guma Carry are going to stay bottom side, hiding, whether they're there or not. But still going to stay bottom side here. They're going to grab the Krugs, so not really losing any income here. Then we'll catch this wave. So Zeri's not going to be able to grab any plates, and they still get the Rift Herald. At the cost of a single Cloud Drake.
Well, you say that, but actually, because of this bottom control, it's just going to be Keeper's Verdict. They just say, no. Teleport, probably available here on Faker. Let's just get a plate.
I like that. Like, how do you argue with that?
It's really safe.
Yeah, I just want a plate. Thank you.
It's really safe. And, I mean, you're going up against 4 Summoner level 6 Lucian Nami. So I suppose, better to play it safe in this case.
It is just unbelievable to watch what Chovy does on this champion. He's pushing this wave in. He's just going to straight up, without any help, try to force a plate.
Missed the charm.
Yeah, Caster Curse. We have to do it to him.
Yeah.
Faker's having a hard time. Earlier. I mean, he's the GOAT. Like, I had to give him a one up.
I did it to Guma earlier. I'm like, you know what? Like, Ruler hasn't been able to get aggressive. And then, like, Ruler just gets in there and forces Guma to die in game 1. But, yeah, this one feeling a lot more even in terms of numbers. It definitely is. Let's see how much value this Rift Herald is going to get. Big rotation up to the top side, as you can see.
Yeah, but Doran this time is playing Gnar. If he can get this Gnar bar up, oh, he has no vision here. See how careful he is.
Well, that is a tidal wave. Very annoying for him to deal with, but let's see how the Hop can get in here. He's not even going to flash. Gets Chomp flash on by the Trundle.
TP, and Ruler's winning this bottom side. Zeus came down here, and he's Ornn against the Zeri. As long as Zeri's in that range of that turret, he's going to be having a good time, but Faker comes down. Faker's missing. That's such a good read from Ruler there. Faker's missing. He could be coming down. Let's see if we can punish him. Worst case scenario, we'll actually grab this mid wave. I love this.
Trying to get something out of Faker here, who is like, no?
I love this play because they push it in so they have a little bit of tempo bottom side. And in fact, the Herald is not dropped top because Doran has TP. He's going to come bottom side here. Chovy caught the wave top side. And unfortunately for T1, despite the pick onto Doran, they cannot find a landing here for this Herald.
It's still a good moment for T1. As you can see, Doran is actually having some issues with this Ornn. Just because, they get the win, they get the pick, they don't really lose much. Zeri's not able to get any plates here, and they still have this Herald. So they're like, no, we're actually going to greed for a little bit more value on this Herald. Looks like they want to drop it bot.
Yeah.
This looks a little bit like when Rascal roamed to bottom side, but actually Zeus is just here. So.
Well, they're just going to do the same thing to Doran a second time.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, we couldn't actually kill you and take all plates top side, so we'll try to do that. Bottom side, Doran will leave. Ruler and the Hens will show up here. Peanut's here as well, and he does have Keeper's Verdict. They might actually be able to deny this charge. We've seen this so many times from Peanut. This is a set play where he comes down and tries to deny Herald drop.
Yeah.
And T1 are even reluctant to drop it as a result.
Yeah, owner's like, well, if I'm not going to drop it top, I'm not going to drop it now.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was still a good kill for T1. They still get a nice lead from it, but it could have been a lot worse.
Got to do something with this as Spirit Rush available here for Chovy. Charm is going to go wide. Faker just taking an aggressive trade. It's not going to mount to too much. As Tidal Wave comes out, Keeper's Verdict will not deny this from coming in, but still a couple of plates, only the 2 plates for now, but still a couple of minutes to potentially get that next one.
Yeah, so, some split plate gold here, nothing amazing, but still a significant win here for T1. Chovy didn't have to flash or ult in mid either, so that's actually a pretty big win for him. Okay.
Ooh, I don't know about this. Ornhorn over the wall. T1 getting aggressive now. Triple knockup comes in from Zeus, but they're still not able to actually collapse and get any kills. In comes Guma. He's got a culling, tons of damage. 100% of that going in. Guma looking for the kill, forces the flash out of Peanut. Chovy's over here, but again, remember that trade. He's down to half health. He's looking for something. Spirit Rush comes in. As the knockup actually doesn't get too much done, and Chovy is able to come in and pick up a kill.
I cannot believe that actually happened. I cannot believe that actually happened. He pulls it off. Doran's up here alone. He's going to get this push through. Still got 45 seconds on plates. Nobody's here. Zeus does have teleport, of course, but ended up taking a ton of damage. And Doran's just going to grab a plate, and the huge dive fails for T1. Off a really mechanical play there from Chovy and everyone on the side of GENG. The flash is held into the last possible second here between turrets. There's only one plate left on this turret when it all goes down. This is, of course, started off by a blast cone assassination attempt here. Zeri wants to hit the ult in this choke point and pop off. Could have been a Zeri moment, but has to get wild growth early. Gumusi chases forward here, has a Gale Force in the culling. Peanut tanks it, flashes last possible second. Ruler barely survives, gets the slow. That buys a lot of time here for Chovy to come down.
And they see him.
Yeah, Faker's also coming over, but this turret is still up. And Charm comes through, Zeus eats the turret shots.
Man, and Chovy flashes the follow-up knock-up, which is a last-second desperation attempt from Zeus to try to turn the fight. It's just perfectly handled mechanically. The timing is split seconds as well from Chovy to get there just before Faker because he's Ahri, you know, and because T1 are deeper than GENG are, so GENG can obviously respond first. So just really nicely done. Now T1 are going to be able to pick up first turret blood. They do get it down in the bottom side. That just felt like it was a long time coming, so they are able to pick that one up here. And they do even up the gold with that.
Yep. Also, Drake's now even here. T1 picking that one up. It's Ocean Drake. So not too significant for either team here, in fact. So we might see a little bit of a lack of focus on it. They still will get the turret. Zeus is being denied a lot of farm. Knows the lead here Doran has right now. And the lead that Guma has, the lead that Faker has, and Aria has right now, these things are way less significant than Adar, who's actually now going to be able to control side lanes here, and Azeri, who's only a little bit far behind and isn't going to spike until 2 items anyways. So even though right now T1 are only 500 gold behind, the game state really does favor GENG at the moment. We'll see if GENG are even interested in taking this second Rift Herald fight, because frankly, they really don't have to at this point in time. Might cost them the mid turret, might cost Ruler some extra farm as a result, but the bigger risk would be to take a fight against all of the team fight, engage, and the power spike that Guma is sitting on right now. And I think as a result here, GENG are making the right call to not fight for this.
Yeah, as you're saying, it's all about those item power spikes. Right now, T1 are incredibly strong. GENG are doing the right thing, avoiding them. Not worth it to try to fight over this one. And so they're just going to send Chovy to a side lane. Big surprise. He's looking to hit level 18 first. That's really what he's all about. He's playing PvE.
Yeah, I mean, but it worked out really well for him last game.
Yeah.
Also, top side here, Doran doesn't have a turret to push, so he has no reason to be far forward here. And GENG,
just chilling.
Yeah, GENG don't have the ability to dive him. I think maybe that was owner hoping that maybe they would see Doran try to trade aggressively there onto the Ornn and they could come for the punish. But the real win for T1 with the Herald would be in mid. Chovy is going to delay this.
Oh, yeah, he saw where he was backing. That's that delayed vision. You got to be careful. You don't want to channel that back right away.
I think dropping this mid, though, makes Ruler's life so much more miserable because he won't have this turret to farm under in mid.
Peanut could try to do this smartly. Owner and Carrion move forward first to try to chip away at the turret before they even drop the Rift Herald. Teleport is used as that is a denial on the Keeper's verdict. That is going to have to be Peanut flashing away as Faker goes in. He's going to whiff on that one, but forces the flash as now the kite back is here once again from GENG. Not going to amount to too much. T1 do take down this mid-tier 1.
Yeah, I think actually the attempt here from GENG to stop the crash and save this turret so that Ruler can farm has greater consequences actually because they all group for this, because it's a really easy take on the turret. T1 group naturally, they get Doran's flash away, and the Herald is still held. Owner doesn't drop it, so they get this mid turret by forcing a 5v5 they can't really win. It's like they were like, okay, yeah, I see you guys don't want to show up for the Herald fight. What if we just bring a Herald and force you to fight on the defense of your turret where we still have these crucial ultimates? Nami ultimate, Emperor's Divide. Doran's forced to flash here from a really nice shuffle from Faker. Look at this.
Yeah.
He dodges it really well, but it's still a win for Faker. Grabs that flash, grabs the turret.
Whiff, but definitely.
Well, you did. I mean, you did mention that you flashed.
It missed hitting the champions, but you know, still gets the value.
Doran's. Ooh. He's going to get this turret at least. so that's nice.
And right now, GENG, they're just trying to avoid action. Other than, you know, weak points like that. Diving an Ornn if he's definitely alone, which he absolutely was. And so trading elsewhere on the map when you're behind an item power spikes is going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, and they will commit the Herald, so this is going to be a trade up for T1 on this enter, or at least that's the idea with this.
Nope, that's not a... It's not a teleport ward there. Just a blue trinket.
And yep, charge comes through, but they don't get the turret. Doran is still in control of bottom side. We've seen so much, you know, bodyguarding going on from owner of Zeus this game to make sure that Doran can't just all-in him and kill him in mini Gnar form and then go for the Mega Gnar to finish him off. But, you know, trades like this, even with a 300 gold lead for GENG, like I said before, game state really favors where Ruler is going because he will hit those item spikes. We don't always, you know, we talk about sometimes how Zeri doesn't default end up being better than Lucian later on, but they have so much to peel for him, and Doran's lead means you kind of have guaranteed peel there. You have a Poppy who can shape team fights. So just trading structures for T1 I think is not enough. Like sitting on a Gale Force Rapid Fire Cannon for 2 items here is not where Gumayusi would like to be in an ideal world right now. He'd rather have a much bigger lead where he's just running around like a tyrant. And GENG are ready to group up. They're ready to fight this. They do not have 2 items for Ruler just yet, but if they can force them into a choke point, it's definitely their fight to take. Chovy does have Flash and Ultimate.
Mountain Soul, pretty huge for both sides. You want to make sure that you're denying it, but also taking it. So everybody's going to be fighting, even over individual Mountain Drakes. As you can see, now the fight being set up here. Mega Gnar, perfectly timed for Doran. The Tidal Wave not going to do too much, as that's going to be denied. No chance there. As the Gnar ultimate is huge, actually. Doran able to set that one up. Faker has to go into the stopwatch, and now he's going forward. Sweeps up a couple, but it's Zeri with 2 kills. And again, this Zeri moment is coming through, and guess who's right there to back him up? It's Chovy. Will we see the Penta is the only question. Yes, we will. The Zeri moment has happened officially. The Penta kill for Ruler comes in at 20 minutes into the game.
Denote the time of death of T1's composition, 20 minutes and 11 seconds. Write it down. That's when the pentakill comes through from Ruler. And Faker, he was in the position there to make the big play, but he's forced down low, then sacrifices himself, goes in for the Emperor's Divide, but he doesn't hit the critical targets. Doran on the Gnar, who sets this team fight up. Chovy also in position to peel so he can force his way through. Look at Doran's Gnar bar here. He's set up. He's already Mega Gnar. Faker on the angle. Peanut is like, all right, cool, you guys dodge an Amio. Keeper's Verdict, worthless. They've dodged it with Bella's Breath, but still, he's in better position to smite. Toby's on the backside here. Faker in stopwatch. He's like, all right, I'm going to have to just go for it. I'm just going to have to sacrifice myself. Gets the 2 knock-ins, but look at who is full health in the backline. It's Ruler.
And
He's got
Chovy.
Extendo Beam. Choby's on the chase. Gets the charm there. And Kuma's like, oh man, I'm just out of this. There's nothing I can do. This is such a great fight. Everything about this, everybody is so well coordinated. That's not words in any language. No, he's saying he's calling out who to pick repeatedly, very fast. Get him, Penta. Penta, he gets it. He's so hyped, you can hear the crowd.
Hands off the keyboard after the Penta.
Well,
oh man,
that is the moment where now Zeri is fully online here, is close to a 3rd item spike.
Yeah, doesn't quite have the IE, but you know, if that wasn't the Zeri moment, I don't know what is. And now, with the Baron, GENG are just going to be able to push in so much. You saw T1 trying to get proactive. It's rough. You know, you have so many ways to pull your ultimates, to pull the trigger on someone. They thought they would have ways to lock down somebody on the side of GENG, and look at this, Chovy just dancing around them. Already dancing. Oh, they found Ruler though. Can they get Ruler down? Is the question. They cannot. They cannot take down Ruler. You've got to be kidding me. This champion is now fed and is just doing even more. Second Penta? Second Penta? Can we hear the comms from Ruler? Quadra kill for Ruler. Faker says no to the Penta. No second Penta for you, Ruler, but it's okay. You've already done the damage.
Game's over. Doran wasn't even here. He wasn't even there for that fight. He has Immortal Shield Bow, and he has a Wild Growth.
I feel like we've been standing on ice and the bottom just cracked out from beneath us.
Yeah.
That's what this game feels like right now.
I just watched everything fall down for T1 back to back.
9,000 gold lead.
Look at this angle.
야 건다 빼면서 천천히 빼면서.
Look at him, he's backing off. He gets knocked up, gets exhausted.
Watching.
Wild growth. Yeah, he's like, protect me, basically. And his,
we win.
We win. He's like, we go. And he gets his immortal shield bow to proc. He's got lifesteal here, and he's just skating around this team fight. He's like, where is the trundle? Finds him with the blue trinket.
나야 이게 나야.
This is me. I did this. This is what I am capable of. And yeah, we did not have the question before the series, but once again, like we said you had to prove it against T1. And so far, he has been able to do it. Now, everybody is going to this brush. I think Doran has seen a lot of people. He is just waiting for them. He's like, yeah, I dare you to fight me. As this is going to be yet another GENG stomperoonie in this team fight. Down go a couple. 10 kills for the Zeri, who has IE, who has a stopwatch. You said it, Wolf, this game is over. Game 1 was close, Game 2 was not.
Yeah, I mean, look at the money that Keria invests into the ward item as well this game. And this is going to be totally irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. 10 kills on this Zeri. And GENG's trying to get that average at 25 minutes. Gold up again here, nearly at 10,000, 12,000 actually this time around.
Othy flashing forward, almost looking like he's playing with his food at this point. There's only 2 ranged minions, but that might be all they need. Doran in the Mega Gnar. They pillar Ruler like he cares. He's just gonna move forward and take down more kills. There's another. He's got his ultimate working, and you can see that Faker not even able to get on top of this Zeri. Ruler is going forward. I don't know about this one. Didn't necessarily have to go this far forward, but he's got the wild growth. Are they gonna kill them? They finally do, as Pito will take down the Nexus. They kill the Zeri, but it is way too little, too late. 2-0 for GENG tonight.
2-0, and game number 2 was so dominant. So dominant. And Ruler, both games, just says, this is my Summoner's Rift. Game number 1, he's set up by his team so incredibly well. Peanut has a fantastic impale, but he never loses his cool. He never, even when behind, stumbles a single time. And GENG always looking for the win conditions. Game 2, it was a lot of technicalities around Doran getting ahead. Great side laning, vision control, and some good skirmishes, but it all comes tumbling down